This is what happened beneath the surface of Turkey and Syria. The earthquake, with 7.7 magnitude on the Richter scale, which happened in Turkey and Syria at a shallow depth, will be remembered as one of the deadliest in this decade. Hey guys, welcome to our channel, Fast Forward. In today's episode, we are going to tell you about what happened beneath the surface of Turkey and Syria. Officials say that more than 33,000 people have died in Syria and Turkey, and the numbers have increased drastically. The center of the earthquake was 26 kilometers east of the Turkish city of Nurdagi. It was about 18 kilometers deep on the East Anatolian Fault, which runs from the east to the middle of Turkey. It moved toward the northeast and tore a hole between the Anatolian Plate and the Arabian Plate that is more than 100 kilometers long. Earthquakes can be caused by a number of different things, including human actions like mining and other forms of extraction. On the other hand, natural earthquakes, which are caused when the Earth's tectonic plates move quickly, can't be stopped, even if the damage they cause can be lessened. The East Anatolian Fault is a strike-slip fault, which happens when two tectonic plates slide horizontally past each other. The disaster that happened was caused by this fault. Eric Sandoval, a seismologist at the University of Missouri, says that the Earth is kind of like a jigsaw puzzle because it is made up of many different parts. At fault lines, where the plates often slowly grind against each other, these pieces come together. But when there is enough tension between them, they can move quickly past each other and release a lot of energy. In this case, one plate moved west and the other plate moved east. This caused the plates to jerk past each other, which caused the earthquake. During the 20th century, the East Anatolian Fault did not cause many large earthquakes. The San Andreas Fault in California may be the most well-known strike-slip fault in the world. When compared to what usually happens in a year, the fact that there were less than 20 earthquakes with a magnitude of 7.0 or higher makes it a big deal. The United States Geological Survey says that since 1970, there have only been 3 earthquakes with a Richter scale score of more than 6.0, but in 1822, the area was hit by an earthquake with a magnitude of 7. It was thought that 20,000 people died because of it. The head of the University College London Institute for Risk and Disaster Reduction, Joanna Farrar-Walker, says that the quake in Turkey and Syria released 250 times as much energy as the 6.2 earthquake in central Italy in 2016. About 300 people died because of this earthquake. The earthquake that happened in Turkey and Syria started with a crack that was not very deep. David Rothery, a planetary geoscientist at Britain's Open University, said, "The shaking of the ground surface will have been stronger than for a deeper earthquake with the same magnitude at the source. At the surface, the shaking would have been stronger than it would have been in a deeper earthquake with the same magnitude at the source." When you think about the fact that it happened on land, you can see how strong the earthquake was. A seismologist who works for the British Geological Survey and is named Margarita Segal says that most of the time, the most powerful earthquakes happen underwater. 11 minutes after the first quake, the area was hit by a second one that measured 6.7 on the Richter scale. A few hours later, there was a quake with a magnitude of 7.5. In the afternoon, there was another quake with a magnitude of 6.0. Scientists think that these aftershocks will continue for a long time because the earthquake activity is already spreading to nearby faults. After the terrible thing that happened in 1822, there were still aftershocks the next year. Sandoval says that almost the whole country of Turkey is very prone to earthquakes. This is not something the country has never been through before. In January 2020, Turkey was hit by another big earthquake that caused a lot of damage. This one measured 6.7 on the Richter scale and hit the country's east. In 1999, a 7.4 magnitude earthquake hit close to Istanbul. It is thought that 18,000 people died because of it. When earthquakes of the same size hit places with the same number of people, thousands of people have been killed. In 2015, Nepal was hit by an earthquake with a magnitude of 7.8. It killed more than 9,000 people. Roger Mooson, who works as a volunteer researcher for the British Geological Survey, thought that the outcome would not be good. He said it's not going to be good. There will be thousands and maybe even tens of thousands of deaths. He went on to say that people buried under debris have a lower chance of surviving if winter weather is present. An earthquake occurs when the ground suddenly starts shaking due to the movement of tectonic plates beneath the Earth's surface. In Turkey and Syria, the region is located along several major fault lines, which makes it prone to earthquakes. When earthquakes occur beneath the surface of Turkey and Syria, the movement of tectonic plates along the fault line can cause the ground to suddenly shift and shake. This movement releases energy in the form of seismic waves, which can cause widespread damage to buildings and infrastructure, as well as trigger secondary hazards such as landslides and tsunamis. In both Turkey and Syria, earthquakes have been responsible for significant damage and loss of life in the past. For example, in 1999, a magnitude 7.4 earthquake struck northwestern Turkey, killing more than 17,000 people and injuring more than 43,000 others. In 2011, a magnitude 7.2 earthquake struck eastern Turkey, causing widespread damage and killing more than 500 people. In Syria, several earthquakes have also caused significant damage, including a magnitude 6.1 earthquake in 2011 that struck the northwestern part of the country and killed more than 250 people. Beneath the surface of Turkey and Syria, there are several geological features that contribute to the region's physical and natural landscape. In Turkey, the geological formations are mostly composed of sedimentary rocks, such as limestone and sandstone, as well as volcanic rocks in the eastern part of the country. The country is also home to several tectonic plate boundaries, which have resulted in the formation of geological structures such as mountain ranges and active fault lines. Similarly, in Syria, the geological formations are predominantly composed of sedimentary rocks such as sandstone, limestone, and shale, with some volcanic rocks in the northeastern part of the country. The region is also characterized by several active fault lines and significant tectonic activity, which has resulted in the formation of the Anti-Lebanon and Taurus mountain ranges. Beneath the surface of both countries, there are also rich deposits of natural resources such as oil, natural gas, and minerals, which play an important role in the economies of both countries. The U.S. temporarily lifted its sanctions on Syria in order to speed up the delivery of aid to the northwest of the country, where almost no help has been sent, even though thousands of people have died because of this week's earthquake. Nearly 23,000 people died there and in neighboring Turkey because of this earthquake. This added to the damage already done by the civil war in Syria's north, which is now mostly run by the opposition and where Bashar al-Assad's government is only present in a few areas. Nearly 23,000 people died in Turkey and neighboring Syria because of this earthquake, which made things even worse. Late on Thursday, the U.S. Treasury Department said that its sanctions against Syria would not apply to any transactions related to earthquake relief operations for the next 180 days. Analysts, on the other hand, say that the demand for the Assad government and the effects of the war are the main things making it hard to get aid to the northwest, which is already tense, and that the U.S. move is more about reassuring banks and other organizations that they won't be punished for helping. Since the U.S. said in 1979 that Syria was a state that supported terrorism, the country has been hit with a number of sanctions. The relationship between Syrian government and the West ended when the White House decided to tighten restrictions even more in 2004 during the height of the Iraq War, and many times when the civil war started in 2011. In 2019, when Congress passed what are now known as the Caesar sanctions, it was one of the most powerful shots fired. The name of these sanctions comes from the alias that the Syrian military photographer used when he smuggled out photographs that showed torture in Assad's prisons. Since the start of the protests, the Syrian president has had political and financial backers in other countries who have helped him stay in power. The goal of this act is to punish those who helped make this happen. Local rescue workers in Turkey, which was hit the hardest by the earthquakes and had the most deaths because of it, have been helped by volunteers from all over the world and by supplies from other countries. But in Syria, where the UN is a lifeline for 4.1 million people in the northwest, only 2 of its aid convoys have made it through the only border crossing with Turkey since the earthquake. One of these convoys was set up before the disaster happened. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more wonderful stuff. And don't forget to like our video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any of our recent updates. Thank you for watching.